Hi, I'm EJ Harper and I'm an author, and I'm just in the process of publishing my debut novel, which is an audiobook. It's called Lazarus Remembered. It's a story told with words and music, and I've used Findaway Voices to distribute it. And I wanted to make this video to share my experience of publishing with Findaway Voices, so as an independent author, what's worked and what I've learned along the way. And the reason I'm doing this is because prior to choosing Findaway, we spent a lot of time researching options as an indie author in terms of publishing an audiobook and the pros and cons of different routes. And Findaway came out very, very strongly in all that research. There was one question mark over Findaway, and that was their customer service and response time. So there'd been a couple of criticisms about that. And so we went in with our eyes open and decided to go with Findaway, knowing that the only thing that we'd heard negatively was that. I'll say up front that I'm very pleased with the decision we made. I'm very happy with Findaway Voices, but along the way I've learnt a few things, and I wanted to share these, like I say, because it's so valuable when other people share their experiences. So, how it all worked. I am in a slightly different position in as much as what we were creating was purely an audiobook. There was no intention of a print or a digital book. So we started out with a vision of a story told with words and music and found the distributor. And what we didn't do was use some of the Findaway's services, which include providing a narrator, organising the narration, or producing the audiobook. We had the finished product, we simply needed a route to market. So first off, I don't live in the US, but my experience of using the online tool for Findaway was very, very positive. It was very straightforward. I had no problems uploading the metadata at all. It takes a bit of time and a bit of thought, but as authors, you'll know that. So I did that, and then we were all ready to go with our finished product. And the first thing that happened is the first stumbling block came when we went to upload our finished product. So what you upload are a series of files, the intro file, a sample file, every chapter is a separate file. And what caught us out is, even though we'd followed the technical specification, when we went to send each file, and they go individually one by one, we discovered that there was a requirement as well for a final file, which was 1 minute, including the words "the end." We hadn't prepped that, we were unaware of it, and to this day I don't know if that was because we missed something or it wasn't explicit up front, but anyway, we managed to quickly record it, get it mastered and get it off. But what I would say is be careful. Make sure that you are really familiar with the technical specification in terms of the sound quality and the way in which the files need to be structured and sent. In terms of sending the files, that was very straightforward. Our audio runs to 12 hours, and it took about 6 hours to get the whole series of files sent. So my advice would be, you need to stay on top of this. Each file is going to be sent separately. 1 or 2 stalled, and that may well have been a problem at our end. I don't know. It's the nature of uploading things on the internet, as you know. So you really had to stay on top of it. You can't push the button and go to bed and expect it all to upload. You need to be there one by one, sending off your files. And that all worked, again, as I say, very, very easily. As soon as our files were uploaded, we got a message from Findaway confirming they were there, and a few hours later a message to say they'd passed quality control and they were on their way. So that was great. It was like, woo, it's done. Now, I will say, during that process, we encountered something else that threw me and was very frustrating. So one of the things you will do as you're sending your product is you make the decision on which retailers you want to use. And Findaway have a huge selection of retailers, the default being your product goes to every retailer possible, which was the default we wanted. However, in order for Audible, which is a huge listening platform, as you'll know, in order for them to stock your audiobook, you must have available either a print or a digital copy of your book available on Amazon. as I said at the outset, our vision was an immersive audio experience, a story told with words and music, and I had no intention of a print or a digital book. So we very quickly had to make the decision, do we exclude Audible from our retail base, or do we include them and accept that we'll have to have a digital book? And we went for the latter. And I wasn't happy because it actually, it wasn't what we creatively set out to do. And also I then had to devote a few days to turning my manuscript into a publishable format. But we did it. So watch out. If you're in the unusual position like me of only having an audiobook, or if you don't have a book on Amazon, you will not be able to use Audible through Findaway unless you're prepared to have a print or any book available. So, next step of the way, we've got our books uploaded and it's on its way to retailers. Now, I had set a publication date of the 26th of January. And what I very quickly learned was that in order to give my book to reviewers, and I had 25 reviewers around the world lined up, in order for them to get it, the book needed to be published. I couldn't send it to them as an advanced listening copy and then have it published at a later date. The facility simply doesn't exist within Findaway. I was really caught out by this because I had people waiting to review it at the beginning of November. I discovered after a few days that the only way I could make that happen was to publish it earlier. So we finished up, in effect, publishing it on the 13th of November in order to get that out to my reviewers. Now, what that meant was that it was then available. My next learning was that the reviewers were then starting to download it. It's actually a very straightforward process. They simply go onto the Authors Direct website, download the app, put in the unique code that you get. You get 30 unique codes if you're not exclusive to Findaway, and you send them the code and the app. Now, for whatever reason, a few of them had problems, and actually none of those problems were due to Findaway. They were simply due to using the wrong email address or getting confused about something. But again, my learning is you need to be on hand to help those people, because if they're sitting trying to download your audiobook and you're not there to answer them, then it's very frustrating. You need to be there and respond immediately if they email or message you. And what I will also say at this point is a couple, I couldn't figure out why they were having a problem. Findaway were there straight away, very responsive. They sorted it out. Again, it was actually an issue of one or two of the reviewers getting mixed up with stuff. But like I say, you need to be on the ball when that's happening, and Findaway were great and very responsive. The last thing I wanted to say at this stage is, so we're now on January the 17th, and over the last 60 odd days, my book has been appearing at retailers, but the process by which it appears is very random. It appeared on Google Books and Apple within about 2 or 3 days, and then it popped up in my retailer links on the Findaway site to say it was there. 60 days later, it still wasn't on Audible, and this was really starting to worry me. I contacted Findaway, who said, no, it's on its way, there hasn't been a problem. I tried contacting Audible, that's another story, but all I can say is it did actually appear last week on Audible, but the time frame between actually the button being pushed and it being sent out to retailers is huge. It can be a couple of days for some appeared after a few weeks, and some 2 months later are just getting it, and there are still 1 or 2 that haven't got it. So bear that in mind, and also bear in mind that you will need to keep an eye on the big retailers to see if your book's appeared. The retailer links on Findaway are not that up to date, and I'm sorry to say that, but it's the case. So 5 days after appearing on Audible, my retailer links on Findaway still aren't flagging that it's there. I know because actually one of my reviewers told me, yeah, it's on Audible, but I'm checking daily on the big retailers to see whether it's appeared, and you will need to do that. So that's where I'm at. What I haven't done yet is really had any experience of royalty reports or promotions or the other services that Findaway offers, but this is my experience as a debut author putting out an audio book with Findaway. It's been a learning experience for me. I'm sharing my learnings because I think they can only benefit people. And what I would say is unequivocally, I would use Findaway again, and I would wholeheartedly recommend them, but really check what you're going to have to do and stay with it. Don't just hand it over to them and expect everything to happen. So that's it. You'll probably hear from me in a couple of months when I've had some more experience and I've got some more learnings to share. If you've got any questions about this, don't hesitate to contact me. You can go onto the Lazarus Remembered website. You just need to Google Lazarus Remembered, or you can contact me through the YouTube channel. Okay, I hope you found this useful, and I will just say thank you to everyone else all other authors who've contributed about their experiences, because you really helped me a few months ago in making a very important decision.